Number 1. Should cross-dressing be allowed in PNC? Allow. Most of us allow cross-dressing as it is an expression of oneself. An individual may be comfortable or more keen to be productive and happy, conforming to what image they want to portray themselves in public. Society right now is more progressive with the vision of individuals. Also, some of us agree that clothing is not conformed to gender but is conformed to a human expression. It's a wise to say that cross-dressing does not have any drastic effects towards the university imagery as well. Clothes don't inherently express one personality in the structure and the system. It is also wise to let students and maybe even faculty and teachers express themselves as they want to. There could be days they will conform to the norm and days they would not if they follow the school attire and wear that what is considered as the uniform that is claimed by the university itself. All in all, in the allowance, there should always be rules to keep in check. If a student wear the clothing decently and is proper and cleanly looking, it should be fashionable for the university and the image of the university as well. Some schools and university have allowed cross-dressing on their students. For example, Far Eastern University has allowed students to cross-dress on campus to express themselves. Manila, Philippines, Far Eastern University (FEU) students all wear uniform to school, but since August 2016, the private non-sectarian university has relaxed its uniform rules to allow cross-dressing on campus. It is that gender expression is something personal. FEU is a university, and they value diversity and inclusiveness, said Jovan Castro, director of FEU, Office of Students Development. Students can now cross-dress on campus. Rappler retrieved of April 12, 2022. Students are most likely happy to be conformed to what identity they want to show. Some students may only find this freedom of expression outside their home. Plus, accordingly to an ABS-CBN article, Soji believes the practices to be considered discriminatory and unlawful under the bill, like the denial rights to LGBTQ community based on their Soji, such as their right to access to public services, right to use establishments and services including housing, and right to apply for a professional license, among others. Differential treatment of an employee or anyone engaged to render services, denial of admission to or expulsion from an educational institution, refusal or revocation of accreditation to any organization due to an individual's shoji will also be penalized. The bill also deems as discriminatory the act of forcing any person to undertake any medical, psychological examination to alter his soji, the publication information intending to out a person without his or her consent, public speech meant to verify LGBTQ, the harassments and coercion of the latter by anyone, especially those involved in law enforcement and gender profiling. Children under parental authority are given by particular attention in the bill, as the prevention of the expression of the SOGI will also be penalized. Any act of harassment or coercion directed to the LGBTQ plus is a discriminatory act under the SOGI, and there are now laws that prohibits the students to cross-dress in an educational establishment. PNC looks like aggressive and understanding than most universities, so it is also a factor that some faculty is also a member of GNC and LGBTQA plus community. We don't see why there would also be about it. This allowance. One of our members pointed out that cross-dressing can produce a wave excitement in childhood and any progress this into sexual are usual in puberty stage. This can be accompanied with rebellious tendencies towards the child as they may express themselves too harshly and become too open towards unnecessary influence such as eloping and celibacy bars and suggestive and destructive activities. Though other individuals may not suffer early pregnancy, STDs are still a factor. Then again, this does not inhibit that cross-dressing will always end up these terms. Some individuals may be keep to mocking people that they are not confirmed to be normal clothing standards, whereas will point out necessary traits that should be insulting may cause any type of bullying towards an individual. Some parents are also conformed towards traditional aspects. They would be disapproving of the act that such expression will be allowed in school. Some faculty may disagree with the unorthodox way this way they will be shown. Titled Just Let Be Us, the report said lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender LGBT students in secondary school experience widespread bullying and harassment, discriminatory policies and practices, and an absence of supportive resources that put them at risk and undermine the right to education. LGBT students in the Philippines are often of the targets of ridicule and even violence, said Ryan Terson. As fellow in the LGBT rights and program HRW, the SOGI Equality Bill Divine Law retrieved April 12, 2022 from divinelaw.com. Some some discriminatory may face as there is still prejudice in the Philippines, though we are turning more progressive is still found in some regions where mass media is still hard to grasp.
Should be wearing super mini skirt or very sexy clothing uh, for women allowed in PNC. Our group had a major disagreement with this. True, it would be a self-expressive for women to wear what clothing they desire, but this is a many setback to the female and the school society itself. We think PNC should disallow wearing super mini skirt or sexy clothing for women. Dress code in institutions like PNC can be beneficial, and this is especially true in Catholic school, where they emphasize modesty in line with the values and beliefs integrated with them. Clothing as a powerful socializing influence and serve as a symbol of social rank and identity. They could be mocked for wearing such a skimpy outfit, and the look of it would be so indecent in the sight of the school more than the light of allowances. Some universities don't have school uniform but still set rules for students to follow such as no wearing short shirt, short skirt, spaghetti strap, transparent clothing, so on and so forth.
Hello guys, my name is Rafael Janji Peñaranda and I'm here for Team Palok 106, CCS 106. So today I'm here for the should long hair and men and multicolored hair for men and women to be allowed in PNC. I believe it's a yes. For me, knowing that it will be affect of more their identity, or even more, it will be able to be allowed within the school if the subject was related to NSTP or PE. The hair should be cut in order to do so, or tying the hair so it will be have more ability to comprehend the subjects. When doing so, besides knowing that using multicolored dye or colored dye will help the students reflect on themselves because of their identity and they want it to be because of it, and it will be reflected under each other as they fall inside and out within the school grounds, and they're going to be confident with their uprising to the top so they will able to be their old self once again. By default, our identity within the hair sometimes it's hard to note by noticing them at their face cuts. That's why we identify the students by their face and name instead of the hair because it's default, meaning that it's black. Black with their hairstyle depending on what they wanted to be and their what kind of style they wanted to be. Like for men, they're using barbers haircut, And for moments, they used to cut their hair, like short or long hair, depends on what their morale and their confidence to be. And that's it for long hair for men, and multicolor hair for both men and men should be allowed in PNC school grounds.
Good morning. My name is Carlos Adrian Arbalmes. My student number is 1902519. And in number 4, tattoo, skin piercing, and other bodily mutilation. These are the things that I allow. Tattoos, piercing, and such expression of oneself. Some tattoos are viable, and other piercing are too, and other piercing too. It is the freedom of an individual to express via art and visual albeit, albeit writing or on their skin. It is a way for them to be happy. Tattoos can be allowed from the minimum of what is visible or not. Large tattoos like sleeve tattoos, cape tattoos, facial tattoos can be prohibited by the school as they can be seen as distracting and a bit extreme nature. The university could allow the students to get small, less visible tattoos to express them, though the same cannot said towards faculty members. Some tattoos should be a bit more decent looking or smaller in size, maybe less visible for it to be viable. Piercing or piercing too. Piercing should be allowed in the school grounds if they are not extreme and doesn't distract much as well. A certain amount of type of piercing can be allowed in the university for students and faculty. Tattoos and piercing do not generally pose harm, though it should be done in an expert setting. Maybe should be maybe there be should also be a papers telling that the staff that the student should possess tattoo and piercing things in their body. Modification are depends on what type. Ear ear notching is not extreme, but others should be allowed till the student has graduated, dropped, or changed universities. Tattoos are part of the culture historical speaking. They they speak of our lives, tales and history. We want to print and remember for the rest of our days, maybe written our body or inside our memory. Piercing can be formed from form of a comfort and remembrance as well. Some people are comfortable having a bit more piercing to express their features. Some of them want to look tough or a bit sharp when they want to hide their meek or their insecure nature. It helps the it helps them move forward and keep their pace going through the university. Might need to limit how many piercings a student should have, especially on their face. Maybe two or three on the ears is enough, and singular piercing on the face is plausible. There just would be a limit as such, not to allow to extremists. And these are the things that I disallow. Some individuals might get addicted towards comfort, conforming themselves to those expressions, such as getting more and more tattoos and piercing. Then, as soon then soon enough modifying their body to the point of no return, and will cause significant harm to their health, image, and will damage their expression. As rather than being a way to show oneself, it could become addiction and simplify a simplify a vanity. some groups may use. Hello, my name is Carlos Idian Arbalmes. My student number is 1902519. Um, in fraternities and sororities, these are what we allow: making connections, building your resume, learning new skills, volunteering in the community, balance academic and social activities, creative lifelonging friends. The pros joining on fraternity includes leadership, social and philanthropic opportunities. The cons are joining a fraternity includes cost, time, commitment, and potential hazing. These are the things that I do not allow. No, because we know that many teenagers dying because of this type of occult group within the school grounds. We can't let this happen to other school grounds or universities. Like the members have decided to leave the group, it will hunt by the fraternities and try to be with them. If the member denied going again. Denied again, it will be a murderous act. You must be stereotyped typed by peers. You might be stereotyped by faculty. Being active and active can be a major time commitment. Joining can be expensive. There can be strong personal conflicts. In some cases, tight, tightly knit houses could limit the ability of students to branch out and develop relationship with other students. In less diverse frat or sororities, this prevents opportunities to know the diverse group people.
My name is Rafael J. Peñaranda for Team Palok for 106 Activity Group Assessment. So I'm gonna explain on should PNC allow Satanism and other occult groups. Allow for from one of the members experience occult groups aren't bad for other people, and some occult groups are being used for within the community just like that. Then some members are like merely normal people with their religion, with while others are extremists. Satanism is centrally not too extreme with a surface perspective with some extremists, but the group is not too dark from the discourse than it seems so. Knowing that if you're joining into Satanism, basically another related religious group, and depends on how they react to other people and how they treated other people within other religions as well. There are some rules to follow as well. There are rules that portray decently and respected human rights. Surprisingly, there are card-carrying Satanists that worship Satan or any other form of devil. They are just Satanists. The Church of Satan, founded in the mid 1960s, explained the way of the websites. Satan as the symbol of pride, liberty, and individualism, and it serves as external metaphorical protection of our highest personal potential. We do not believe in Satan or as a being a person. As the Church of Satan puts the individual at the center of the universe, what High Priest Pilter Gilmore describes as a going as a atheist or a atheist. Escobedo TZ, 2015, December 11. 5 things you didn't know about the Satanists. CCN, received at April 13, 2022 from the link in the description. Satanists values the expression individualism. They have the ways of liberty towards their peers. Basically, it is a not a sexual normal things depends with the Satanism. Like the Satanism is a part of the group, right? So it should be not be a problem within the community and between other religions as well, like Catholic and non-Catholics, depending on how the Catholics and Christians may be other religions as well. It should be allowed for reason as well. It depends on the PNC community center or community guidelines as well. For this allow, some occult groups should be not be let in the school system. There are some Nazi Satanists, basically a Nazi like for Adolf Hitler, something like that within the group, or other condemned groups that has been extremist between their group members between the particular group of the Satanist group. The group is notorious with violent and discriminative crimes, even some against the state. Religious has been extremely group are basically from out of the question topic. We have been conducted that any student groups should be and will be condemned to any activities in the school campus and any places that may be near the school grounds. There should be a sifter of what groups should be allowed, and some groups provided themselves as primary risk for public safety at the school. Imagine it is likely be in line. Basically, we're not letting cult groups or other Satanists are being extremists within the other group members within a particular group, because that's too bad and that's too much between the PNC guidelines. So it should be disallowed in other groups. Some other groups that I said earlier from the allowed description, it should be allowed from other groups that they they disbelieve within the God itself, but the others are basically they force the sacrifice based and this way in oven, and that's how what I think to be allowed between the PNT about Satanism and other occult groups.
Hello, my name is Carlos Adrian Arbalmes. My student number is 1902519. The League of Filipino Students, Gabriela, KMU, and other left learning cause-oriented groups. These are the things that we allow. Um, Gabriela Women's Party, or GWP. This party helps and teaches women about their own rights, equality, leadership, integrity, etc. to the society. I want this to be loud, loud in the school grounds because this will help them and teaches them about their rights as a member of society. It will help not just female students, but teachers, just female staff members as well. The Women's Party teaches them what's what's their rights, integrity, and to know how to protect themselves in any potential danger. There's that are in front of them, and giving public seminars to those women outside of the school to teach them and giving them knowledge about women's rights and that they are equally strong as men. In some cause-oriented groups that are not doing anything harm in that are not doing any harm to the society and in the schools should be allowed. This will help the students to learn about new and giving them some new learning experience. It could give the school new students and raise its morale. These are the things that we disallow. We are against of the League of Filipino Students of the of the league because of the league's makes protest sometimes harassed other students who are who are not doing anything um not doing anything wrong. They will try to hit staff members of the school by throwing rocks, sometimes glass bottles. It is very chaotic, and sometimes this turns into a violent protest and police will be involved. Well, if it's out of hand, and sometimes it could lead to protesters or innocent bystanders because of their protest. In the KMU is a communist party in the Philippines. It was created in May 1, 1980 during Marcos regime to represent workers. There are many disadvantages joining in this party. These are the no freedom of speech. They should only follow the rules those of their government. Having this in the school grounds will make imbalance to the school. The students will make rallies to protest their rights and question the school system. It will give school a bad reputation, allowing a communist party in the school grounds. And some oriented groups should not be allowed if they were talking about something bad about the system of the government or in the school that could destroy its reputation. That is all.